boardroom was in chaos. Red alerts flashed across the screens, and the high-level executives shouted over one another, desperate for answers. The CEO of Digitech Solutions, Alexander Monroe, paced back and forth at the front of the room, sweat forming on his brow. The entire company's proprietary server network had just crashed, and not just any network. This was the core system housing thousands of client files, AI models, government contracts, and confidential financials. It wasn't just a glitch. It was a catastrophe. Asterisk, we've lost everything. Backups aren't responding either, shouted Megan, the company's lead systems engineer. Her voice almost drowned by the alarm beeping from her laptop. Asterisk, get IT on the line. Tell them to bypass the proxy layer and reboot manually, barked Alexander. Asterisk, they already tried that. System's not responding. It's like someone rewrote the code or injected malware at the base level. Another tech chimed in, his hands flying over the keyboard, trying every trick he knew. Asterisk, Alexander's heart pounded in his chest. The company had just launched a multi-billion-dollar AI infrastructure upgrade that would revolutionize how corporations manage data, and now, in front of press, investors, and a global live audience, the system had completely flatlined. Asterisk, if this isn't fixed in 15 minutes, our stock is going to plummet. We'll lose all our government contracts, said VP of Operations Janice. Glancing nervously at her watch, Asterisk, Alexander rubbed his temples and leaned over the long conference table, trying to regain some composure. What about our disaster recovery protocol? Asterisk, dead, said Megan. Everything is routed through our new decentralized AI hub. It's gone dark. Every failsafe depends on it. Asterisk, just then, the door to the boardroom creaked open. Everyone turned, half expecting a frantic IT team to come rushing in. Instead in stepped Maria, the janitor who cleaned the offices at night. She stood nervously at the threshold, holding a mop bucket. Beside her, clutching a beat-up tablet, was her teenage son, Julian, a lanky kid with oversized glasses and a graphic hoodie that read, "Code like a god." Asterisk, sorry, Maria said, clearly uncomfortable under so many powerful gazes. I didn't know you all were having a meeting this early. I came to grab my ID badge, asterisk, but Julian wasn't paying attention to the awkward stares. His eyes were fixed on the screen's flashing lines of corrupted code and cascading error logs. Asterisk, is that the new Argus AI kernel? He asked suddenly, his voice cutting through the silence. Because it looks like your self-learning loop has entered recursive overload. Asterisk, Alexander blinked. What did you just say? Asterisk, your code. Julian walked in closer, eyes scanning the error strings. It's not a virus. Your AI is trying to optimize the optimization routine itself, over and over, until it collapses. Like folding a paper so many times it rips itself. Asterisk, Megan scoffed. Kid, this system was built by the top engineers in Silicon Valley. There's no way you asterisk, Julian cut her off, pointing to the scrolling diagnostic window. See that parameter? Echo run equals false. If you flip that flag and reroute the neural cache through a cold start node, it'll reboot outside the corrupted optimization protocol. Basically, a clean mental reset. Asterisk, the room fell silent again. Alexander looked at Megan, who hesitated before frantically typing. Asterisk, wait, he's right. That might just work. Do it, Alexander ordered. Everyone leaned in as the command was executed. For a moment, the screens went black. Then, with a low hum and flicker of green lights, the system came back online, stable, clean, and fully functional. There was a stunned pause. Who are you? Alexander finally asked. Eyes locked on the boy. Asterisk, Julian shrugged. I'm just a kid who likes to read open-source white papers on machine learning during lunch. Alexander Monroe couldn't believe what he had just witnessed. In a room full of PhDs, lead architects, and senior developers, the savior of Digitech's multi-billion-dollar system was a teenage boy in a faded hoodie, carrying a second-hand tablet. For a moment, no one knew how to react, and applause slowly broke out around the room, hesitant at first, then swelling as people began to comprehend the magnitude of what Julian had just done. Asterisk, Maria looked overwhelmed. She pulled Julian gently by the sleeve. I'm so sorry, sir. He's just curious about computers. He didn't mean to asterisk stop, Alexander said, holding up his hand. Don't apologize. His voice was still stern, but now tinged with disbelief and awe. You said your name is Julian, right? The boy nodded, shifting awkwardly under the weight of so many eyes. Julian, Alexander continued, do you have any idea what you just did? You saved this company. It's possibly the lives of everyone in this room. Asterisk Megan, still sitting behind her laptop, confirmed our systems are clean. That mental reset bypass Julian suggested worked. It's like the corruption loop never happened. I would have never thought of that solution. Asterisk, the board members exchanged glances, some scribbling furious notes, others whispering to each other. Someone muttered, we need to offer him something now, before someone else does. Asterisk Alexander turned back to Julian. How old are you? 15, he said. Do you have any formal training? Asterisk, no sir. Just online courses, YouTube, GitHub projects, stuff like that. Asterisk Alexander's mind was already racing. He saw the potential. The raw genius. This wasn't just a prodigy. This was the future of computing standing in front of him in dollar store sneakers. Asterisk, you're homeschooled? Asked Megan. Asterisk Julian nodded. Mostly my mom works a lot, so I just sort of teach myself. Like puzzles. Asterisk. Asterisk Alexander turned to Maria. Do you know what your son just did? Asterisk, she looked confused. No, sir. I just came to pick up my badge. I don't know anything about tech. Asterisk Maria, he said carefully. Your son just fixed a problem that some of the best minds in this field couldn't crack. He saved my company, and I think he just saved a lot of people's jobs. Asterisk Maria's hand went to her chest. Her mouth trembled, and her eyes welled up with tears. He always told me he wanted to be a computer scientist, but I didn't think we could afford college, let alone. Asterisk Alexander waved a hand dismissively. Forget that. He's not going to. College. He's going to change the world. Asterisk, then he turned to his assistant. Draft a contract. I want Julian on a full scholarship and internship program effective immediately. Also bring in legal and HR. If he's willing, I want to sponsor him through any education path he wants. Full ride. He gets a mentor, a stipend, and access to our AI lab. And give Maria a promotion too. She deserves it. Asterisk, Maria gasped. Julian's eyes went wide. Asterisk, I don't know what to say, the boy mumbled. Asterisk Alexander smiled for the first time that morning. Say yes, and welcome to Digitech. Asterisk Julian glanced up at his mom, who nodded, still stunned. Then he turned back to Alexander and smiled. Asterisk yes, he said simply. Asterisk, as the applause erupted again, Alexander looked around the room. The tension that had gripped everyone just minutes earlier had vanished, replaced by something rare in corporate boardrooms. Hope. Pure unexpected hope. Asterisk, and to think it had all come from the kid who wasn't even supposed to be there? Asterisk, asterisk.